Welcome to Small Steps. My name's Seth Potts, and I want to show you the unique function in Excel. A lot of times we get information in, and a lot of times they're longer columns, a lot more rows of data here, but it's kind of broken it down. Sometimes we get this information, and what we're asked to do is figure out how many distinct or unique values there are in it. Something like this, it could be with like a case number. When there's duplicates in there, you want to see how many, kind of remove the duplicates without changing the data here, but just see what the unique items are or the distinct items. Um, so what we're going to do is go through with the unique function and pull out both distinct and unique, show how that works for each of those. We're going to show then a couple other ways you can combine that with other functions in a longer formula to do a few other things. So just from this list, this is just a very, very small broken down list. This is just from a hotel, and just to keep any specific information about it out, I've just pulled the case number, report date, and what I did is instead of license plates to see which ones might hit more often. This is just a list of the state of the license plate for different instances we've had at that hotel. As you can see, I'm in the Kansas City area, so we have a lot of Kansas and Missouri, and then other people coming through will have individual ones here. So say I have information like this, and I'm wanting to pull out the distinct values. Now, I guess before I do this, just to explain distinct versus unique, even though this function is called unique, um, the distinct that it'll pull out of this would be any state that's listed here. So whether it's listed once or twice or more, so Kansas, there's multiple Kansas and multiple Missouris, it will count those in here as well once. What unique does is it'll look through this list, and it just will pull out what specifically is listed one time. So when we have this whole list, it's going to take Kansas and Missouri out because there's multiples of those, and it'll leave only what is unique listed one time here. So to get started here, we'll start with this distinct. So when we start typing in the function here, unique, here are the items we have to fill out. The array is going to be what we're going to pick. Now, these other items, if we're just doing the distinct, we actually can go ahead and close that off. We don't need those other arguments at all. So it's basically picking out everything from this list, whether it's listed once or more. It gives you this whole list. So one thing I will note here is it does not put it in alphabetical order or anything. It's just going to put it in the order it comes across them. So as you can see from this list real quick, and if you can imagine if you had a longer list of data here, it could have been anything. It could have been certain offenses or anything like that you do just want to see what's been associated with it from this list. You could pull those out pretty quick here. So going over to the unique one, we're going to start the same way. Start that. Let's see what it says here is returns unique values from a range or array. So the same way we did that, we're going to highlight these. Now this second one I don't ever really use. All you have to do to skip over something like that is just put another comma in. And then this one, so what it did by default when I just closed the parentheses off is it automatically assumed it was going to be false. So what we're going to do is this true returns items that appear exactly once. Close the parentheses there. And you see it is the same list we had here, but it removed the Kansas and Missouri because those came up multiple times. So now I have a distinct list and I have the unique list. Now, like I said, if you have a longer list and it's pulling more information, it's more rows of distinct or unique values. And looking at these not in alphabetical order, if you're looking for something specific in there, it might be harder to find when you're looking row after row, trying to find something specific there. So what we're going to do is use the sort function here, and you're just going to wrap that around pretty much the same function or formula we did over here. So let's use that unique, and then do that same array here. And whichever you want to do, I'm just going to go ahead and close that off and then close off the other function. So we're sorting the results of this unique function for that. All right, now you see we got the same list here, same number of states, but it's gone ahead and put that in alphabetical order for us. And you could do that with either of those. Let's say you have a longer list and you're not necessarily wanting to see everything spelled out. Let's say we're looking at these case numbers here, and you can see in here there's a couple that have duplicate case numbers. We just want to see how many different cases we had that had whatever these are. Say they're auto thefts or auto burgs. But that's what we're going to count up in this list. We want to count how many of those there are. You can combine the count. What I'll use is count A. It counts the number of cells in the range that are not empty. So I'll use that one, and I will highlight this. Oh, actually, did that wrong. Let me take that back. That is going to be wrapped around that unique function there. Now I'll highlight that. And for this, I don't want unique necessarily, because if anything like these duplicates, it will remove both from the list. So I want them to count everything once. So these that have duplicates, it's just going to count those once instead of twice. So what I'm going to want to do with this unique function is put the comma in there twice. I want the distinct items. So I will do that right there and close that out again. You see it gave me a number of 23. So for there being 26 cases here, you can see there's 1, 2, and 3 that were duplicates. So it's removed those 3 and gave me that accurate count of how many cases there are here. So like I said, it's a pretty easy and handy function just to pull out these values, and like I say, combining them is fairly easy to do as well with multiple other functions to have a longer formula to achieve different things here. So add this one to your arsenal, and anytime you get asked for something like this, just go ahead and you can pop that function in real quick and get your answers quickly as you could doing a pivot table or any other way of counting those items there. If you found this tutorial helpful and would like to see more, click like and subscribe. Next video coming up is going to be over calculating age when you have a date of birth.